I am a senior at Franklin High School. And yeah, welcome to this 2020 State of PI. Yay! Okay. So we're gonna start now. So I only have like 5 minutes now to talk. So I'm just gonna try to rush through this, hopefully. And yeah. Oh shoot, it's not letting me click it. So I wanted to start off and break the ice and start off with a joke. So the joke of the day is, did you hear about the claustrophobic astronaut? And any guesses? Any takers? No? Okay. Oh shoot. Let me try. So yeah, he just needed a little space.
Jennifer got it right.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So there's the joke. And I thank you for laughing for those who laughed. The crowd's a little tough today. So yeah. All right. All right. So before I move on, for the next few moments, I just wanted to take a moment to say a little something about this very land that we are on right now. So please make sure that your mic is muted. Thank you. So every community owes its existence and vitality to generations from around the world who contributed their hopes, dreams, and energy to making the history that led to this moment. Some were brought here against their will. Some were drawn to leave their distant home and hope of a better life. And some have lived on this land for more generations than can be counted. Truth and acknowledgement are critical to building mutual respect and connection across all barriers of heritage and differences. We began this effort to acknowledge what has been buried by honoring the truth, what we now call Portland, Oregon, and Multnomah, were the traditional lands of the Multnomah. Cathlamet, Clackamas, Cowlitz Band of Chinook, Tualatin, Kalapuya, Molalla, and many other tribes who made their home along the Columbia River. Today, people from these bands have become part of the Confederated Tribes of Grand Ronde, the Confederated Tribes of Siletz Indians, as well as the Chinook Nation and Cowlitz Nation in Washington State. We pay respects to the elders, past and present. Please take a moment to consider the many legacies of violence, displacement, migration, and settlement that bring us here together today. All right. Yeah. Thank you. And yeah, I also want to hold an intentional space for the Black lives that we have lost, as well as hold space for Black folks who are navigating a sea of emotions due to ongoing systemic anti-Blackness and racism that had been felt and currently coming to a head across the globe. In particular, I wanted to hold a space for Jacob Blake, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Tony McDade, David McCaddy, Sandra Bland, Trayvon Martin, and Elijah McClain. Please join me in a moment of silence. All right, thank you. Okay, so this is really exciting. I thought I was really excited about it when I learned that we're going to be holding a special raffle. So as you can see on my slide, we have a special raffle, and if you stay to the end, you will be automatically placed in the raffle for a chance to win a $75 gift card to Bambuza. And yeah, we will be giving away 2 of those. So 2 people will be virtually going home with a gift card virtually, but until we actually physically give it to you, but socially distanced. Okay. All right, some reminders before we start. So just a heads up, the meeting will be recorded and published on our website at pinchpassionimpact.org. So make sure the name on your box camera on Zoom is your first name and pronouns, so then it would help. And yeah, make sure that your mics are muted and screens are appropriate. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the chat and if we don't have time to answer them, then we can always get back to you personally. But yeah, if you feel free to check your name right now, that'd be great. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, well, I've been speaking for like a long time now, and it's right on time because I have like a minute left. And the meeting, yeah, I think it's time for me to just hand it off to our next speaker before anyone falls asleep. And yeah, but before we do anything, grab a snack or a drink, sit back and relax, buckle up. And yeah, I'm just gonna be handing it over to Adriana, our high school coordinator.
Ooh, thank
Oh,
you,
shoot.
Kayla, and thank you everyone for being here. Really appreciate it. I don't think I've ever been in a Zoom room with so many people, so I'm nervous. So yeah, but my name is Adriana. I use she and her pronouns, and I'm high school program coordinator with Passion Impact. Essentially, what that means is any program that has to do with high schoolers, I'm your person that is helping to coordinate, oversee that, and plan those events. And so what I'm going to be doing right now in this first little chunk of time with you is talking about some of the programs that we have done since the start of my time with Passion Impact. So for folks that don't know, I started with Passion Impact back in January, which is crazy to think that I've been working with Passion Impact for like 11 months. Especially since like 9 months out of the 11, I have been online and have not interacted with anyone in person since March. But I would not trade it for the world. Passion Impact has been a really great home. And so I'm really excited to be with you all right now to get to show some programming about our programs with you. So with that being said, in order to make this more fun, I'm going to share my screen. Also make it less intimidating for myself so I can't see as many of you. So what I want to share with you all is just the programs that we have since I've started back in January to now, and also talking about the future of programmings with Passion Impact. So the major programmings of 2020 that I'll be talking about is our teleprograms, our summer internship, volunteer event programs, VEP for short, classroom workshops, and the winter internship that just started. First off, I want to talk about teleprogramming. Just for some context, once everything went into sort of this big lockdown mode, we really sprung into action when it came to Passion Impact programming. And for really like the better, I think, of our programming, we created this kind of host of teleprograms, which allowed us to stay engaged and interacting with students, even though we were not going to see them again in person for a really long time. Four of the main teleprograms that I helped oversee and that were really successful through our time from March going to August were our article discussions, informational interviews, workouts, and game days. I want to start just giving a brief overview of each. So the article discussions were just a really neat way for us to weekly to engage students in a different topic that they maybe didn't learn about in school yet. They would never have learned about in school, that had to do with things that came from social justice to imposter syndrome to maybe a STEM sciencey topic, just something new to them that they maybe wouldn't have engaged with normally, and read an article about that and hold space to have a discussion with one another. And that was a really cool time where we all just got to hear each other's opinions and be in community to continue our engagement and our learning beyond the classroom. And we did those from March all the way into August until school started. And that's definitely a program I'm hoping to bring back once it's summer and the students aren't engaging in school as heavily. Another really popular teleprogram that we had was our informational interviews. Our informational interviews were essentially a way for students to learn about different careers and pathways that folks have taken to get to where they are now. And it was just a really cool way for students to not only get to kind of take their learning and their future in their own hands, but it was something that was recorded and now lives on the Passion Impact website. So other people that maybe weren't there, that don't live in Portland, that don't live in Oregon, that don't live anywhere near us can still engage in and learn from to this day. And so that was something really cool that we were able to do via teleprograms. Our third one was our workouts, which Kayla was one of the people with Christina to lead our lovely Wednesday workouts, which were just a way to move our bodies in the middle of the week and kind of do some self-care and, get out of a slump. I know at the beginning of quarantine, everyone went on walks, and I know that has very much died off for a lot of people. And so I'm hoping maybe workouts can come back because I am one of those people that no longer go on walks. But they were a really fun way just to like hang out with each other and, get a workout in. Actually, this picture is coming from our workout, so it was just a fun time. And last, we have game days, which are actually a teleprogram that still exists now. They exist just to kind of like build community and have fun and like, you know, have just a good time with one another. And they exist to this day, where the students put them on about every other week, and they just have a good time with one another. And it's really a great program that I'm glad existed back in March, but now continues to exist right now. Other set of programming I want to talk about was our summer internship. Just very briefly, we had 6 summer interns who, for a stint of time, participated in professional and personal development workshops. And really the point of that internship was to create the leaders of our volunteer event program, which was a huge success of an internship. And I'm really proud of all of the students that participated in it. They grew a lot, and it was just really fun to engage with them. Again, it was all online, but it somehow worked out excellently and was just a really good experience for me, and hopefully for them as well. Some of the major projects that they did included like recruiting members of the VEP, engaging in weekly social justice TED Talks, doing a college exploration. And I think one of the coolest things they had was they created an online portfolio or website, which I think after me, some interns are actually speaking, so I won't speak too much on it, but it's just a cool way for them to showcase all the ways that they are unique online in like a living resume format. And so that's one of the cool projects that they did. We have lots of programs, so stick with me. And the next one is our volunteer events program, also known as VEP. The VEP is probably our biggest program that we run, and it is a group of students, 14 right now at Franklin High School, who meet monthly, or not monthly, they put on monthly volunteer events and they meet weekly to put these events on. So far we have had 3 events happen, with the 4th happening tomorrow, actually. And so some of the really cool events that these students have created from start to finish on their own and implemented include Elderly Pen Pals, which was a really awesome event where they just wrote to folks in senior care homes. And we recently just got letters back. And so I'm really excited to share those with everyone that participated in that event. We also had a STEM kit packaging event where about 20 people helped make 2,000 STEM kits that go to local Oregon elementary students. We also had a Mount Tabor cleanup really recently, where students were able to engage in person and help remove invasive species from Mount Tabor. And then tomorrow there's actually a mental health awareness and resources event that they helped plan. One of the last programs that we run are classroom workshops. These are in partnership with Avid. Classroom workshops are a way for myself to get into these classes with the Avid students to engage in focused curriculum that tend to be around personal and self-development and exploration, along with social justice emphasis. And so currently I am working with Avid 9th grade and Avid 12th grade to put on 1 to 2 workshops a month in each of their classes. Those workshops are different for each grade. There's grade specific curriculum, and it's just a great way to engage with students starting their journey in high school and ending. In 2021, I'll be working with Avid 10th grade and 11th grade to continue facilitating these monthly workshops. And the last program that I will be talking about is our new program, our new adventure happening at Madison High School, which is our winter internship. We're really excited to get to expand from Franklin to have Madison join in on our programming. And so what is happening is we have 6 interns from Madison who will be working for 8 weeks, participating in professional and personal development workshops, along with creating a club at their school and determining if Passion Impact fits at Madison. And if they find that Passion Impact is something that Madison High School wants, we hope to bring in a variation of our volunteer event program to Madison in the fall of 2021. So that is kind of what our future is looking like, continuing our programmings in Franklin and expanding very similar programmings to Madison. That is my programming, and thank you all for bearing with me. I'm going to send it back to Kayla.
All right, thank you for that, Adriana. But yeah, just talking about all the programs that has happened ever since like Corona started and like we went down and shut down. As a student myself, I felt like it was a great experience for me to just like be able to do something rather than do nothing, because school was like basically gone by then. And yeah, I felt like it was nice getting to talk to like my peers while this was happening and doing all of this stuff and keeping myself busy. So yeah, it's been great. And so we have next up our very own summer interns, Christian and Christina, who will be talking about their summer internship. Yeah. All right, yeah. So I'm gonna pass it to either Christina or Christian.
Hello. Can you guys hear me? Okay, I think my audio. Okay, never mind. I'm Christina. I'm one of the interns that interned this summer. It was a 6-week internship with Passion Impact, and I'll just be talking about like what I did during the internship and what I got out of it. And so I'm gonna try and screen share. Can you guys see it? Oops, that is the last slide. My bad. Okay, so well, I'm Christina. I go by she/her pronouns, and what I'll be talking about is writing reflections for TED Talks and like weekly reflections, workshops that we did in the internship, professional interviews that we held with like our like chosen mentors, our website portfolio, and discovering our work ethic and our takeaway from the whole internship. So first we have is reflections. So one of the tasks that we did in the internship was every week we wrote like a reflection, and we also wrote reflections for our reading and also for TED Talks that we watched. And like I'm not like really someone that like really like reflected a lot before I did the internship. And so like this was like definitely something new to me. And like one thing surprising that I like found about myself is that I like really enjoy putting a lot of like work into like writing it and like organizing it. And I think it was fascinating to like discover that part of me because I wasn't even aware of it. But yeah, like reflection, I think like it's good with like a lot of things because we did reflections for our reading too, because we also read a book, and it really makes you kind of like you like read something and like like you just read it, but like when you read it down, you really just like kind of really like put into words what you like got like what you got from the reading. And I think that was really good and really like kind of like I don't know how to say like powers your brain a lot. I don't know, but for some reason it's not going to the next slide. Sorry. My bad. Okay. Okay, next slide. So I'll be talking about the favorite workshops. So in our internship, we did a couple of workshops. And sorry, I'm like, is Christian here?
Yes, I am. I can do this slide if you want.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, so
Okay,
hi
so
guys.
sorry, hold on. I didn't even like let you introduce yourself, so you can go do that. My bad.
I don't have my camera plugged in right now, so I'll do that after I introduce myself. But hi, my name is Christian. I'm a senior at Franklin High School. I'm part of the VEP and Passion Impact, and I'm part of the advertisement committee. Let me plug in my webcam before I start talking. Give me a second.
I like your slides, Christina.
Okay, so now that you can see me, hi. So these are like three of our favorite workshops that we agreed on. The first workshop we did was called SOAR. We went over SOAR, which are interview techniques. SOAR stands for situation, objective, action, result. And basically you would use this technique like if you're in an interview and someone asked you a question to describe an experience, you would go over the situation and then the objective and then the action and the result. And that's like, it would be like the most effective way to, describe the situation. And then the interns were mock interviewed to like practice these techniques. And then our second favorite was resume and cover letter editing, which we had a professional come in like one day and like she went over our resume, she went over our cover letter drafts, and she gave us tips and what was important to have on a resume and what wasn't important to have on a resume. And then our final one was tabling with confidence. This workshop, we went over like how to effectively table and how to draw an audience and how to like really deal with every type of person. Like, what if they're grumpy, or like, how do we attract those kind of people to our table and then advertise effectively? And then after that, we kind of had like a mock tabling session where we like pretended to table, and then like the other interns like walked up to us, not really walked up because we were in a Zoom call, and like we had to like convince them about our, our product and stuff. Okay, well, that was our favorite workshop.
And
Yeah.
I just want to like add on like a common theme that I saw with these workshops, and I don't mean to like repeat myself constantly, but like we did like a lot of like self-reflections like in these workshops, because we did other workshops like beyond the ones that we have here. And I think we during our workshops we kind of like discussed and like talked a lot about like social issues and social topics, and we kind of like we like took turns like listening to what each of us like had to say. And I think it was like a really like some of the conversations like could be uncomfortable because like there are topics that can be that like we aren't like really like used to talking about. And I think it was like a really good opportunity to just like grow and just to listen and hear other people's perspective without trying to like argue with them, and just trying to see what you can like understand from them through their point of view. So yeah, I'm gonna move to the next slide. I'm kind of struggling with moving slides. Okay. Christian, do you want to take this one also?
Yeah. So during our internship, what's the word? Assigned. Yeah. Each intern was assigned of doing 2 professional informational interviews. So each intern had to schedule, professionally email, and reach out to like either like a professional in a field or like a college student or like basically anyone in like their desired field that they wanted to learn more about. And so we were tasked with formally emailing and scheduling an online informational interview with, and then then we had to interview them, and we asked questions like we had to ask, not like we had to ask professional questions, like really professional questions, and we had to make sure we had to get a benefit out of it as well as them. And I mean, Christina, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, I mean, you can talk about your like actual personal interviews. I'll talk about mine first. So I interviewed 2 social workers. They both went to OSU, and like I was looking into social work. So this opportunity was like able to let me like connect with social workers and help me like get a little bit more insight of like what that career field is like, because I kind of like had no idea, because it was just like something I was looking into. And I definitely wouldn't have, I don't think like I would have like done this myself, or like even thought that this was like a thing that I could do without the internship. And so like I'm glad I did it, because I was able to talk with some like really good like mentors, and they offered to like continue to like talk to me and like let me ask questions in the future. So I'm really glad that I was able to connect with some people for that. And Christian, you can talk about yours.
Yeah, I interviewed 2 photographers. Both of them I know kind of personally, but they're both kind of professionals in their own field and they know a lot. So I interviewed them, and because I'm a photographer too, and I thought it would be a really good experience for me to kind of like, learn about their stories and how they got where they are, and how I can like kind of implement like what they did into my own life and see if I can like, succeed and benefit off of that. But yeah.
Sorry. Okay. I'm not gonna show like my like website portfolio, but Christian is, just to like save time, So in our internship, we also made website portfolios, which basically is like well, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like a resume like on a website. And so that is also something I like didn't know existed, and it was like one of the things that we did that I like really liked, because I really like things where it's like personalized and you can like make your own thing. So basically it's kind of like, yeah, so it's basically like a resume and thing. And I'm like, I'm glad I did it, because I had to do college applications this year, and I'm still doing it. And this is like one of the things I like sent to my teachers for them to like really get to like know who I am, and like I can like use this for my job also. But this also helped a lot in like making sure that my teachers like knew me as much as I hope they can like know me, you know. And in one of my college applications, one of their options was to like submit a website, and that was crazy because I didn't even think that was like a thing colleges like asked for. So I had something to turn in for that. I just had to like edit a little bit more, and yeah, I'm really glad I had it like in hand, you know. And yeah, Christian, you can show your website.
Yeah. Oh, you might have to stop sharing your screen.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Okay. Boom. Can you see my screen? Okay, so this is the website I made. Since I'm like a photographer and I really like that, I made my website much more about visuals and stuff, and I'm kind of using this as like my portfolio and like something to like, you know, expand. So this is my homepage, and then I just have the homepage go straight to the collections, and these are like just collections of like just all the photography I've done over the years, like kind of just like put together all into one website. And if it hadn't been for this internship, I wouldn't have like, I would have never have like made this website. So I just think that this is a really cool way to just express my work. Yeah, and then up here we have a page for videography, and then I have an about page, and it just comes in here. There's a tiny little description right here, and then a contact if you want to contact me, because you know I'm famous and so many people contact me, it's crazy. And then I have like a portfolio, which is more of like professional, not really professional stuff I've done, but stuff I've done for like bigger organizations. So like I did some stuff for Atkinson Elementary, and then, you know, I did stuff for Passion Impact because I'm just like that. And then I have a tab for like our internship. So what I did over the internship, I have a page for my weekly reflections, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. And I just added these photos because I like all these photos. And then I have a page for all the workshops, and like these are all the workshops we did. And there's just a short description of like what the workshop was and what we gained out of it. And then over here and projects, like these are, wait, I don't think this works because I never updated it, but pretend that goes to like projects and stuff. But yeah, if it hadn't been for like this internship, I would have never made a website, or maybe I would have, but I wouldn't have like made something like this. And I'm really proud of this, and I'm like still updating it like every day. So yeah, I'm gonna stop sharing.
And I'm gonna screen share again. Oh yeah. Okay, so it's not that's it yet. My bad. Okay, so we like didn't make a slide for this one, but we can just like talk about like our biggest takeaway from the internship. So I guess, okay, yeah, I'll just leave this on here. I'll leave it on here. Wait, no, I shouldn't leave it on there. I'll leave it on here. Yeah, okay. So basically I guess like I don't want to like, I feel like I like got a lot from this internship that I don't want to just like say like a couple like words and be like, yeah, so that's what I got out from it. But I think it like helped me like develop a lot about as like a character, or like a lot of like personal like reflection, just like see into your character, and like made me like think about like, you know, what kind of person like I want to be, you know, like what I want to do, and also helped me discover a lot about like my work ethic and what works for me and what doesn't. And I was able to like kind of like see myself like as a leader, like see how I like am as like in a like a leadership role. And I think it like definitely made me a lot confident. I think like one of my biggest struggle like as a person is that I struggle a lot with public speaking. And I mean there's always like room to grow and to like improve, but I think like I'm at the point where I don't think I'm incapable of doing it, so I'm proud of that. And I'm really glad I was able to like work with other people, and we were able to like make create like cool events and stuff, and I really enjoyed that. So Christian, you can go.
Like I said before, like some things that I got out of this internship was like, okay, I again, like Christina said, I don't want to say like a couple things and to say that's what I got out of the internship, but like one of the main things is like the website. I really like my website, and I think it's just a really important tool, especially for me going into the future of just like having all of my work condensed in one place. I also met a lot of cool people. I was super nervous going into the internship because like I didn't know like half the people, and then I met them all, and now we're really cool. I really like the workshops. I think the most helpful workshop for me was the SOAR workshop because I did have a couple job interviews after that workshop, and I ended up using SOAR, and it actually really helped me. That's why I have a job. And I mean, yeah, and then the professional interviews too. I think that was a good experience, like learning how to like professionally contact and email someone and schedule something up. I felt really good about that, and that's something I'm going to need to do like a lot more in the future. But yeah.
And I just want to add on. I'm a little bit sad that we didn't talk about like the other workshops. So we also had like bias, and identity workshops. And I feel like those were like really like not like really skill related. They were more like as like a person, a character. And I think those were like really important too and crucial. Like I said, like some conversations were awkward and like kind of uncomfortable, but I think that's like it's kind of like understandable. Like it could be like uncomfortable sometimes, and also I think just because it's uncomfortable doesn't mean like we shouldn't talk about it. And I think that's also like one of the things that we learn is that to not avoid uncomfortable conversations because they're also like necessary, of course. And I think like I don't know, I like if I could like give like one thing to one person, or like say one thing. Wait, I don't even know how to word this. If I were to recommend, no. Okay, so basically what I want to say is that like reflection is really good to like look into your character, and it really helps you like understand like the world like a lot better, and it makes you like a little bit more self-aware, which is like really good because it kind of makes you like a better person, a more understanding person, and it helps you like understand other people too. And I think that's really important in society. But yeah. Oh yeah, and okay, in our last slide, hold on. Oh wait, that's it. Yeah.
All right, thank you, Christina and Christian. That was great. But adding on to the summer internship, the one thing that like kind of like hit all of us was how early the internship was. So it kind of stopped us from waking up at like 1 p.m. in the afternoon, because like it was like straight up at like 9 in the morning. But yeah. And yeah, we're gonna go back to Adriana, who is gonna talk about the DEI focus.
Yes, hello, I am back. You get to hear me again. Also, I would just like to say, Christina and Christian, that was amazing. I literally was like, do I cry during this? Because one of the programs I worked on was an internship, and it was just really great hearing you all talk about your experience. And I'm just really proud of you all and all of the other interns. You all did so much and grew so much over like a short amount of the summer. It's really crazy to see how much you've accomplished. So thank you for coming and sharing that with us. But now what I will be talking about is our DEI committee and like what Passion Impact has been working on in relation to diversity, equity, and inclusion. So for some context and just to be really like short and to the point with all of this, we worked on, we were planning to do strategic planning earlier this year in the summer. And we had conversations about how we wanted to not just talk the talk, but walk the walk when it came to diversity, equity, inclusion within Passion Impact. And so our way of doing that was kind of hitting the brakes and pausing our strategic planning and moving towards focusing on what DEI is to Passion Impact and how that's being implemented within the organization. And we needed to do that first by having a DEI statement be created and used as a point of reference for strategic planning in the future. And so one of the first things that happened was we kind of took a lot of time and revamped our diversity, equity, inclusion committee in order to start this process of creating a DEI statement. And back a few months ago, we actually passed the first version of our DEI statement or pledge within Passion Impact. It took a few months and it was a labor of love. And I just wanted to share the statement with you all by reading it right now. So Passion Impact's DEI pledge. We are committed to developing an environment in which the students and communities we work alongside are seen, heard, welcomed, and supported in their growth with and beyond their involvement with Passion Impact. We strive to foster a culture of openness, continuous learning, humility, and social responsibility. Passion Impact is open to and welcoming of both change and failure in the pursuit of social equity. This statement is grounded in the words of Adrienne Marie Brown's book, Emergent Strategy. Change is constant, be like water, and never a failure, always a lesson. Our purpose behind this DEI statement is to wear our beliefs on our sleeve, to let the students and communities we serve know where we stand in the face of racism, anti-Blackness, prejudice, and all forms of oppression. This statement represents our first step in identifying and naming the cultural norms and standards upon which our organization has previously been grounded, but which have not been conducive to creating a truly inclusive environment. Passion Impact will be moving from the notion of volunteerism toward the concept of civic engagement and innovation. By moving towards these pillars of action, we are placing more emphasis on the aspect of community work, social cohesion, civic action, and civic commitment. We acknowledge the roots and histories of white supremacy and the white savior complex deeply ingrained in the concept of volunteerism. We pledge our responsibility and commitment to continue our learning about the disrupting of oppression, injustice, privilege, and racism. Our organization is actively choosing to address these tough issues head on and challenge our own assumed right to comfort. Recognizing the work that we do cannot be a one-size-fits-all approach and that our words need to be met with action, our DEI committee will be finalizing actionable steps for our organization to take in order for us to create a truly more equitable community. So that is our statement. That is on our website, and we're really proud of that existence. Something I want to note on there is that it notes that we are working on actionable items, which is something we are still doing. And with that being said, is if you're in this call right now or you happen to watch this later and you're interested in being a part of Passion Impact and you are interested in doing work around DEI and social justice, you're able to join our committee, and we would gladly love new members to join to help in the creation of these action items and reviewing Passion Impact from a DEI lens. And so if you are ever interested in that and you want to be a part of, a social justice program within Passion Impact, this is a good foot in the door to get working with us. And so I will put my email in this chat so you can email me if you're interested in joining. But our DEI committee meets monthly, the first Tuesday of every month for an hour on Zoom. And we would love for people who are interested and passionate to come join us in our space of continuous learning and the improvement of ourselves and the organization. And that is what I want to say about DEI. So I'll throw it back to Kayla.
All right, cool. Yeah, you heard it, folks. Join the DEI committee. It's very cool. You can be cool. We're all cool together. And yeah, so up next, we have Krista, who'll be talking about the finance with budgeting.
Hi, I'm Krista. I'm on the board of Passion Impact, and I'm also currently the treasurer. And I've been working with Passion Impact for a couple of years now. And I wanted to just give a brief overview of what our in the last fiscal year, kind of what we spent money on. I feel like being accountable and being transparent are values that Passion Impact has for how we want to live in the world, is just to be very open with what are we using our resources for? Because I feel like resources is a good indication of the things that we care about, is what we spend our money on. And so I wanted to just show a quick little presentation that I came up with that's not as fun as some of the other presentations, but kind of gives a good overview of what our budget looks like on the expense side. Later on, after I go, someone else is going to come and talk about the more development side of things, but I'm mostly just dealing with the expense side of things. So I'm going to share my screen really quick. I did a thing. Just a second. This is too fancy for me. From beginning, share screen, share. Okay, I think I think you can see my screen now. So Passion Impact has existed in a couple different forms kind of over the years, and we kind of keep molding the programs a little bit. And so this is the fiscal year of 2019 to 2020, which already kind of things have changed since then, since we brought on Adriana in January of 2020, and some of our programs have changed since COVID started. So this is kind of a weird time frame, because it's kind of like some of the programs prior to COVID and then some of them after. And so this would be the expenses from July 1st of 2019 to June 30th of 2020, which is our fiscal year. So the biggest program that we have is the high school program. In that fiscal year, we spent about $40,000 on the high school programs. Some of the highlights of where we spent the money is we have Adriana now, who's our new high school program coordinator. We spent a lot of money on our insurance for students and volunteer programs, compliance, liability, like those are some pretty big expenses. And then we also, this is one of two programs, and then we have some administrative programs and fundraising expenses. And so in all of those categories, we have some of the office expenses and rent allocated. The reason why that's kind of a big item for us is that, I'll show you on the next screen. So here's a breakout of where the money from this program goes. There's payroll, there's rent, office supplies, other insurance. It's kind of breaks that out. So rent is going to be a big piece of each of the programs, just because that's kind of a really important space for us, because it's kind of the hub of where all our activities happen. Right now, we're using the space to for students to come work from the space. Before COVID, that's where people would meet. That's where we assemble kits. That's where they planned volunteer events, and just like everything kind of revolves around that. So a good portion of the money for each category is allocated towards the office and rent expenses that we had. We also had some college program expenses, about $4,000. So I think, yeah, so we spent some money on the ACE program, on different kinds of t-shirts, insurance for interns. It's a pretty small program, so not a lot of resources went towards that. And so here's our breakout of the college program expenses. About half of it was the rent, and then there's some professional development, advertising, liability, insurance, those kinds of things. In our administrative category, we spent money on the board because we've added new board members over the last year. We had committee expenses from when people were meeting in person on the committees, and then other random administrative expenses. So again, a big portion is rent. D&O insurance, director and officers insurance for the board members, office supplies, website, other. And then our last bucket was the fundraising expenses, about $3,400. And so we use that for fundraising fees, different kinds of development trainings, writing thank you cards, writing grants, just those kinds of things that we needed to use. So I have a last chart that kind of shows the breakout of where the fundraising expenses went to. So I think that's it. Oh, and then not in this year, but if we were to show you the finances from the year after that, we would then see the internship expenses. There was DEI board workshops, DEI workshops for the board of directors. And then there's other things as things come up in our programming, and as we kind of pivot or we decide what's important to us, or we, that would then later be reflected by where we spent our money. So if anyone is curious and wants to see more information about detail about this, we did actually file our first tax return, our Form 990. We filed it for the prior fiscal year in 2018 to 2019. And that I think it might be available on the website. I'm not sure if it's gotten on there yet. But if you're curious in seeing that tax return that kind of shows our programs, what we do, how we spend our money, lots of other information on that, you're welcome to send us an email to ask for that. We also would definitely like to share any of our financial statements with you if you're curious about seeing our any of our financial statements. We'd like to be an open book and be able to answer any questions about the ways that the resources are being spent. So I think that's it. I'm going to turn it back to Kayla.
All right, cool. Yeah. It's really nice hearing about like the behind the scenes finance and all of that happens for PI, because when I think of a nonprofit, I think of like free. So like I don't really think of money. So like I don't know, it's like kind of like weird listening about this and learning about it, because I never heard about that. And that's actually a lot of money that goes through. And yeah. And I may or may have not skipped Stefan, but I'm just gonna move on to Helen, who is going to be talking about development progress and next steps. Cool.
Awesome. Thanks, Kayla. I'm Helen Dillon. I'm a board member. I joined the board back in January. There were a few of us that started together. And it's been an exciting ride. It's, I think without COVID, this organization has grown tremendously just since we started with the addition of Adriana. But watching the organization grow, even like with COVID going on, is even more incredible. Like Adriana, you're talking about being proud of the students. I'm so impressed and proud to be working with you. It's awesome. So great job, Adriana. So like I said, I joined the board in January, and I started rolling with the development committee in about March, I think. Stefan and Melissa and I began meeting. Shout out to Melissa. I saw you on here. And we really wanted to focus in on some initiatives, both near term and longer term. So our more near-term initiatives had to do with just creating some avenues for general fundraising through the year. Our first one is a monthly giving program. We are open to some name suggestions if anybody has anything going on there. But the monthly giving program I'm particularly proud of. I think it could be a great opportunity for some sustained giving and just a good opportunity for people to be more engaged throughout the year. I am sharing my slide here too. So this slide breaks down a little bit more of what your monthly donation could give or could help sustain for the organization. If you were to commit to $100 a month, it could pay for one high school's internship program. And that's incredible that we've got the winter internship coming up with Madison High School. So how cool would it be to really feel like your $100 a month is making sure that is happening and that can continue. 75 can keep the lights on and ensuring a healthy and safe environment for the students. $30 a month could be an investment pushing forward our diversity, equity, and inclusion priorities. $25 a month funds prize incentives and scholarships for the Catalyst students. $10 a month can ensure we maintain web programming for students via Zoom and GivePulse. And $10 a month ensures snacks. Whoops, I have a typo there. Ensures snacks while the students are in the office space. And that really is, in case there's concerns about food security, it's just a guaranteed meal or snack for some students. And who doesn't want to make sure that our students are being fed? Outside of that, we also have our year-end campaign coming up. We have I think, completely attainable goal. I'm really excited to see us move forward and raise $16,000 by the end of December. This year-end campaign is something I believe Stefan has been pushing for the last several years, and it's incredible to actually see the growth that he's had from year one to last year, and I'm really excited to see what we can do this year. So if you guys are up for joining me in a one-time donation or signing up for a monthly donation, please just go to passionimpact.org and click the donate now button, and it'll lead you to the space to either set up a recurring donation or your one-time donation. Back to Kayla.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Helen. And yeah, we are fed really well in the office, I gotta say. The Boom Chicka popcorn is immaculate. And yeah, so going back to Stefan, who I accidentally skipped, he will be talking about a few things, including the office, the new office. So yeah.
Thank you, Kayla. Really appreciate it. Just want to make sure everybody can hear me as a thumbs up around. Cool, cool, cool. Hi, I'm Stefan Pearls. I'm the Executive Director of Passion Impact. I go by he, him, his. Thanks for everybody joining us. Really appreciate it. This is a really unique opportunity to be in community with you, despite being in our own respective places. And with that, tonight, I'm going to be telling you a little bit about the office space. I'm going to talk about our ACE program. And then I'm also going to tell you about our strategic planning. So let's dive into the office space. I'm actually here tonight, and we actually had a 2-year lease run up, and we had a long discussion about this as to whether or not we wanted to keep it or not. Students and board all got together and convinced each other that it was best to hold on to this space, mainly because it grounds us in our community. So with that being said, yeah, we got to make sure we can still use it. So over the past few months, we've designed, these are 4 stations for students to use for their computers. They can get online access here. They can do papers or college applications or scholarships. Over here is my desk in the corner, a weird corner over there. And then over here is Adriana's desk, and she's got a little slit to see out of. There are 2 other desks that we have not yet built out. We want to make sure that we are at maximum capacity before we put all the resources and time and effort into those. In order to come to the office, students have to sign a COVID waiver policy and make sure that they have acknowledged that they haven't been around anybody who's been sick for the past 10 days. Upon arrival, they will come over here. They will take their thermometer test, and then they will sign in, making sure they have a mask on at all times. So we want to make sure this place is not just safe for them, for staff, and for our board members, but also when they go home, that you as a family member who is welcoming your child home, you're safe as well. So we have filters in here and heaters and all that kind of good stuff. With that being said, I do want to say some thank yous. In order to get this place done, Kyle Furukawa and our board helped us design it. So shout out to y'all. Mr. Plywood and Rebuilding Center donated over $2,000 worth of supplies. Ben Shiner, Kenny and Sarah Gretz, Brian Devlin, and Free Geek donated a bunch of technology. So thank you to those people. Wendy Ulrich and Ron Ronowich helped donate the curtains. Thank you for those. Pete Pham helped donate his tool because I broke it. So Pete, let's check in later. Want to make sure that that warranty got all the way through. Helen, thank you so much for coming out and helping assemble a lot of this stuff. It was great to have you here. And then when we're ready to open up, when the state's ready to open up, we will be ready for the students to come back. So that is something that no matter what happens, this is staying here. It's pretty solid. So that's our office space. Next thing I'm going to talk to you about is ACE. ACE stands for, wow, hold on. I'm like blanking here. I'm like really nervous. This is crazy. ACE stands for Advocate for Community Engagement. And it is a program that we've been in partnership with PCC, specifically the PCC Community-Based Learning and PCC Financial Aid. So I'm going to shout out to Hannah Cherry and Rebecca Lewis. Y'all are fantastic women. And thank you so much for putting up with me over these past 4+ years. We are in our 4th year of this program, and obviously being online is really different. So we've had to change up this program again. That being said, all PCC work study students have to be remote. And so we have 6 new students, many of whom are joining us tonight. So if you are in the audience, I'm going to shout out your names. You got Carlos, we got Adrian, not to be confused with Adriana, Serena, Chow, Davida, and I knew I was going to forget the 6th one. Help me out, somebody. Fatima, thank you, Fatima. Oh man, all of those people are fantastic. And not just to say that from my perspective, but there were 9 PCC students interviewed by Mary and Annabelle, and 3 of them did not make it. Those 2 senior, or I guess a senior and a sophomore, spent 2.5 weeks interviewing all of these 9 candidates and came back to me. We had long discussions about their interview techniques, the questions they asked, the specific notes on each of the people, and the 6 students that were chosen were thought through. So I want to give Annabelle and Mary a pat on the back. Y'all did a fantastic job in bringing in these fantastic new 6 students. So that's the ACE program, but basically what they do, let's just talk about ACE. These students will be working in the back end to build capacity for PCC community-based learning classes. So what that looks like is working with a specific class and a professor to connect the curriculum of those courses to the needs in the community so that students can apply what they're learning. That's the basis of community-based learning. In addition to that, they will be working with Adriana and our VEP to be a resource for other volunteer opportunities, as well as potentially bringing in PCC students to volunteer alongside. There may be even potential to work with Adriana, as Adriana has moved into a position in partnering with the SUN program at Franklin High School to serve 54 avid freshmen to help connect them to the Franklin High School community. So more to come on that one. We're really excited about ACE. Welcome to the ACE team. Excited to have you. The last piece here is our strategic planning, as Adriana mentioned earlier. It is on pause, and that's okay. We have taken a long, hard look at ourselves, and we are continuing to do so. I'm really proud of the time we've taken and the questions and the pushback that everybody on the board and students have provided, because it is pushing us closer to a position where we as an organization we know who we are. Thinking about what Christina said about reflection, that is very much what we've been doing in this process. So what that looks like moving forward. Well, right now we have quarterly goals that we're assessing. We passed a budget for this year. It is a tide over. So that being said, we're bringing on new board members. So if you are interested, that is something that Dave will be talking about shortly. And we're doing a cultural audit in the DEI committee. And that, in addition to what our programs look like over the next year, will help us between February and June come up with a solid strategic plan that we can pass to start in July of 2021. With that being said, I'm going to pass it back to Kayla. Thank you so much again for everybody attending.
Wow, so many pass backs, I see. Yeah, like the office is great. I personally went to it and I found myself doing a lot of work and getting stuff done and getting my grades up, because at home I can barely do work. So the office was a great space for that. And Mary and Annabelle were doing like interviews there too. So it was kind of loud, but you know, I kind of did my work. So yeah, passing it, I'm gonna be passing it like everyone, passing it to May. Hopefully I said that right, because I learned it last time, but who will be talking about the values, the mission, and vision and partnerships of PI. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Kayla. Hi, everyone. My name is Mei Yi. I use they and she pronouns, and I'm a board member here at Passion Impact. So friendly hydration reminder, if you need a stretch, I know we're, a little, we're far away in our event today. So I will take a quick moment. Ooh, can somebody give me a screen sharing ability to cast my slides? Yay. Okay, thank you. That was all a distraction so that folks can get what they need done. I can get my slides up. So I'm here to talk a little bit about our mission, vision, and values. As we talked about our revamp and transition of our diversity, equity, and inclusion, we also had the opportunity to look at our mission, vision, and values as an organization and think about, does this still ring true? Does it still reflect who we are? And so a little bit about the process. It was about half a year. So we are serious when we say that we are dedicating time and resources to really dig deep and reflect with ourselves. So here's a brief timeline where a survey was shared out in May of 2020. We've had discussions and meetings all throughout the summer, from June to this fall and October. And then there was a final approval just this month in November. And throughout this entire process, all different types of stakeholders were engaged. We got students, we got teachers, we got our board members, we have volunteers and community members. So we were just really grateful that so many folks were invested and interested in not only the content, but the way that things were worded and working with each other collaboratively to generate the statements that you're about to see. So what are we grounded in? What is our value? So we believe that students deserve equitable access to resources and to be their authentic selves within communities they share with one another. And then our mission. So like, what do we do? Well, we're grounded in this value principle. We act on this belief by engaging with students to foster self-awareness, interpersonal understanding, and social justice through civic leadership. And our vision and what we're working towards is that Passion Impact students are self-affirmed community members who pursue their passions to achieve a healthier world. And so you'll be able to find these on our Passion Impact website. So we're gonna continue to direct folks there as they want to revisit this info. And also through some of our surveys, students expressed their interest areas. And also I think that this is what grounds us as we think about our partnerships and our programming. So 3 interest areas that our students are wanting to develop more in are environmental justice, social justice, and mental health. And what we're hoping to do is look for meaningful youth engagement opportunities and collaborations with Passion Impact. So if you have connections to, are working with any organizations or projects that are within these interest areas and or can tie well to anything that you heard during our event so far, please feel free to reach out to me. Here's my email, and then we can also connect through, I'm sure there's going to be a follow-up email as well for folks sent out. And so I will stop sharing and I'll pass it back to Kayla.
Thank you. I caught it. But thanks, Maggie. Well, looking at the vision, mission, and like everything that we've that Maggie shared, it's crazy because I remember Stefan was like, "Hey, look at this. What do you think about this?" And like I got to put in my opinion, and I thought that was really cool because like you see like companies and like other like groups of people like coming up with visions and missions, but they never ask for the opinions of students who are basically teenagers. You know, they never ask teenagers because you know we're kids. But yeah, that was great. And I am going to give the mic to Dave, who is going to be talking about the board training over the past year and recruitment. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I just want to thank everybody for taking some time to be here with us today. And I also want to echo what Helen said. I've been just massively impressed by the leaderful student body and staff and board that have guided this organization. It's been a pretty Herculean effort in a year that everything feels Herculean. So well done, and thank you for what you have done, what you are doing, and what you will continue to do. Just a bit about the board. For those of us who don't know exactly what a board is, apart from the shadowy figures that meet, semi-regularly to discuss nefarious dealings, the board of directors of a nonprofit is really in charge of like governance, fiduciary responsibility, the alignment of specific projects that support the mission. Also, are the governing body that oversees or like supervises technically the executive director, and it's really a group of volunteers, passionate community members that have skills to lend in service of the mission that of the organization that it serves. In this case, Passion Impact. And so we're going to talk a little bit about what the board has done this year-ish, a little bit last year as well, and then also where to direct your energy if you're interested in learning more about how to become a board member here at Passion Impact, and how to sign up and to continue to learn more and possibly get engaged. A few highlights. One, obviously, we brought on Adriana, who's just done, again, echoing Helen, a stellar job in kind of rallying some forces and helping the organization hit its goals. We brought on a number of talented board members and other staff, and just a lot of talented humans have entered the sphere of the Passion Impact globe of influence. We've undergone strategic planning, which if anybody has ever done that before, you know that it's a bit of a rose and a thorn process. The rose is that you get smarter, you get focused, and you get moving on that focus. The thorn is that it can be painful. You can realize all the mistakes you have made, are currently making, and will continue to make. But again, applause to everybody who took part in that. I feel like the direction that Passion Impact is on is one of guaranteed success because of that insightfulness and the reflection that's built in to the organization. And we also did a diversity, equity, and inclusion training with Tamara Leash or Lash. Somebody correct me, vocally, physically, or otherwise, if need be. But that was an excellent time that we spent together, really talking about identity and society. Lash, thank you, and apologies, Tamara. But that was a really good guidepost for how we talk about our vision and our values and our mission statement, which were just reviewed, which again did not come together overnight. And so the board played a role in helping guide that conversation. Talking about moving forward, becoming part of the Passion Impact Board is something that's not the hardest thing in the world to do. The first thing you want to do is visit the website, and I'm going to share screens instead of sending links over. Oh, I can do a whiteboard? That's kind of fun. Let's just share not a whiteboard then. Here we go. Can everybody see my screen? Very good. So if you navigate to passionimpact.org, join our board, you'll find first and foremost kind of the things that we're looking for in community members that can lend their asset to Passion Impact. These are including and not limited to things like publicity networking, social justice knowledge and experience, statistical analysis, grant writing, budgeting, civic engagement, knowledge and experience. If you have some of these things or you know somebody who does, please point them in our direction so they can learn a little bit more about how to get engaged with Passion Impact's work. Of course, we do want you to know a lot about what Passion Impact does and can do. And to assist with that, there's a wealth of information, including our DEI statement as read by Adriana very recently. And then there's also our group definitions. How do we define equity, diversity, anti-Blackness, white privilege? Like, what is it that we mean specifically when we say these things? So school and student designation, really talking about the types of schools and the students and demographics that we aim to serve most. And then there's also the board member role description, which really goes into some details on what it is that you'll be responsible for taking on as a board member with Passion Impact. Some of these are very basic and understandably predictable ones, like attending board meetings and being contributory to them, lending your voice as a vote on items that require such. And to help develop resources and to help with leadership and planning, and to just be a mindful advocate for the mission of Passion Impact in your day-to-day life. And I'm sharing, is this going in like an infinite circle now? How do I stop sharing?
I think you
Somebody help me. Did I already stop? That was easy. See how good at this I am? Like I said, visit our website, Passion Impact, and I will throw it down in the chat here presently for the direct link for applying. We do apply through, if I can recall. Yeah, it's through GivePulse. And so I'm going to drop that link in the chat now so you can explore that application. A few timely items, just so you know that applications do close December 9th. And so try to get those in, post any inquiries. You can either send them to me or to Stefan or anybody on staff at Passion Impact. And then at December 16th is when we're going to be doing interviews with board members and students. And then mid-January is when we're looking to bring on new board members. So yeah, thanks again for your attention and for attending State of PI, and I'll hand it back.
All right, yeah. Thanks, Dave. And I don't know why it says David on your name, but on the paper it says Dave. So I'm just gonna go with Dave. So yeah. Yeah,
was great.
but all the board members that I know are great, and you should join all the adults out there. And hopefully I could do that when I'm older, maybe. Hopefully, yes. But yeah, I'm gonna go to last but not least, my two favorite peers, Annabelle and Calder, who will be talking about their experiences with the VEP program.
Hi everyone. So I'm Annabelle. I use she, her pronouns.
My name is Calder. I go by she, him pronouns.
And it's so weird. I never realized I'd be this nervous to like talk to my screen. So it's a weird moment. But so yeah, so me and Calder are gonna talk about, oh, I'm gonna share my screen. I should do that first, sorry. All right, I hope you guys are seeing that. So me and Calder are gonna be talking about our are going to be talking about our VEP experience and just everything we've been working on this year within VEP. And so just a quick explanation with what VEP is. It's the volunteer event program. So 14 of us total who are Franklin High School students get together weekly, and we plan over Zoom now, but when we get together weekly and we put together monthly volunteer events for like people in our Franklin community and just community in general to attend and go to. So that's one thing that we do. And then, so for this year, some of the volunteer events that we've had so far is the senior pen pal event in September, the STEM packaging event in October, the Mount Tabor cleanup, which was about 2 weeks ago in the beginning of November, and then the mental health awareness event in November, which is coming up tomorrow. And so for our senior pen pal event, we, at this event, we wrote letters to seniors at a nursing home and in the hopes of becoming pen pals with them. And like we all got together. Here's a picture from the event. And the other day, we actually just got the letters back from them, which is super awesome. And we're trying to figure out a way to get that back to everyone who wrote them. So it's super fun to see that. And another event that we did this October was the and for all STEM packaging event. So 20 of us got together and we created over 2,000 STEM kits for elementary school students. And it was a really awesome event. I helped plan it. And so it's super cool just seeing like the beginning to the end. And so here are just not even like half of the STEM kits that we made. And this was at the office. And so, yeah, we got those back to Infraall and it was just a super crazy experience.
And about 2 weekends ago or something, we teamed up with Friends of Mount Tabor Park and the Parks and Rec Administration to do a Mount Tabor cleanup event where we sort of just got together in person, which is kind of risky right now, but we took all of the necessary precautions to make it happen. And we sort of just like pulled a bunch of ivy and like trimmed a bunch of blackberries, and it was super cool and really fun to get in the community that way. And tomorrow we have a mental health awareness presentation by NAMI Oregon, or we're partnered with NAMI Oregon. where it's sort of just like it's more catered towards adolescent mental health, but it's also just mental health information in general, and also some really helpful resources for sort of just what's going on right now, I guess. So that's going to be super cool.
Yeah, so those were some of the events that we had this year, and all of them were super fun. I'm looking forward to the rest of the year. And so now we're just going to share some of the VEP difficulties that we've had this year with everything being online, and then also it just being like me and Calder's first year in VEP and Passion Impact. So Calder's going to start off.
So one of the first and probably the most prominent difficulties that we've been facing when it comes to the volunteer vet program is school, because everybody's schedule is sort of different, and it's also online, so people's schedules won't be able to like match up perfectly every time, and it's really just convoluted.
And another struggle that we've had is getting new club members. And so we've really been trying to reaching out to the Franklin community to get new members, but it's difficult just because so many people are already busy with school and have so many screens that we're already talking about. It's like, why spend more time every other week like going to this lunch club? So we've been kind of struggling getting new members, but we have a good group of people that are showing up regularly.
Sort of coming off of that is like adding more screens to people's days, like including school in the morning. Some people have school in the afternoon as well, and then it's just another like meeting online where you're just staring at a screen, and that's been sort of hard for some newer members to sort of stay engaged, I guess, but it's been able to work out, or we've been able to make it work.
Yeah, and another struggle that we've had is just brainstorming good virtual events. So different volunteer events that we can hold online safely, because we want to make sure that these events are really engaging and also inclusive to anybody who wants to participate, so that if we ever need to pick up supplies, that we provide like all the different means to be able to make it easiest for them. And so it's been difficult really making creative ideas and partnering with other people to try to just work out these, just to make it as like good as possible. So yeah.
And definitely along with that is engagement, is trying to think of an event that is friendly to like a Zoom call or like an online thing that people aren't going to get bored doing. And so far, I think we've done a good job. And it's like you really have to engage with your group sort of and be like, would I want to sit in front of a screen for an hour and a half to listen to somebody talk at me? Or would I want to actually like do something helpful for the community and also have it be like accessible online? And I think with the senior pen pal event, I think we were able to do a really good job with that, because we sort of just got in a Zoom call and like talked about what we were going to do, and then wrote the letters in our own sort of space and then sent them out. So that's an example of a way we were able to overcome that, and I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and another struggle now is just finding motivation. And I know for me, it's been a really big struggle just trying to like stay on track and stay self-driven with everything going on, like worrying about, oh, what is this volunteer event that I'm going to be doing next month? But then there's like so many other outside factors happening in the world. So it's been really difficult just kind of like trying to stay on track and find that inner motivation to keep pushing through. And so, yeah, that's one thing. Those are just the struggles that we've had this year. And so now we're going to talk about our first years in VEP and our personal experiences. So Calder's going to start off with that.
Yeah, okay, so this is my first year in the volunteer event program, and I'd say the only bad thing is that it's been online, because like I've gained so many new like skills and so many new connections with tons of awesome people, and like I don't know, because it's like I'm not a very social or outgoing person just in general, but being able to sort of put myself in this like group where there's all these people, where it's like you're able to work together, and then um, just like make something cool. That was another thing, is like gaining the ability to like do like online leadership skills. That's the word I'm looking for. Gaining online leadership skills and like being able to work with a group of people and create something without like the supervision of like an adult, like a parent or a teacher, sort of like guiding you through the whole process. Like it feels really accomplishing to have a usable end goal from something that like you and like 3 other people alone made. It's like the best feeling ever, and it's super fun. And also another reason why I joined the VAP is that I don't really have much previous volunteer experience at all. And I figured this would be a really good way for me to help out the community, because that's something that I really value. Yeah.
Yeah, that's something me and Calder can really relate to with like the first time volunteering, because this is also my first experience with something like that. And so one of the things that I was really shocked by in coming into VEP was just how strong of a community you can build so quickly. I was kind of shocked at how well, like it was like how easily I was able to fit in and make new friends and just like really find myself. I didn't feel out of place or like unwelcome. It was just such a nice thing to come into. And like having that type of environment around you while also working and growing like skills that are really useful for my future has been something that's like really awesome to me. And I'm like the kind of person that really stresses about the future and always wonders if I'm like doing enough or working hard enough. And so kind of doing this and other things along with clubs, I've like been able to kind of like reassure that like I'm trying my best and like doing everything that I can. And so that's honestly like why I really want to be a part of this for the rest of high school, just because it feels like something so special and such like a home. It's honestly just super fun to be a part of and to like watch myself grow, and also just like everything that we're creating. It's such an amazing organization, nonprofit, that like to be a part of and to work with. And so that's honestly one of like the biggest takeaways I've gotten, and only being a part of this since like August. And so it was the craziest realization when like they texted me and they're like, hey, like you should like interview for the VEP program. And I was like, what is this? Like it was such an unexpected opportunity that made like just like worked so well for my life. And so that was something that I'm really happy about in joining VEP. And so yeah, that is the end of our presentation. Thank you guys for listening. I'll stop sharing. Oh wait. Oops. Stop share. Okay, awesome. Thank you guys.
All right, thanks guys. That was like that was like, I have no words. That was amazing. Yeah, just okay. But yeah, that was our last few speakers. And yeah, just going off the VP program, it's great. Like it feels so structured, and it really makes it. And that's props to Adriana. Really good stuff. And yeah, so I'm gonna share my screen because we're about our last few minutes. Yes. Hold on. I'm gonna try to do this real quick. Okay, because can everybody see? All right, cool. All right, so yeah, we have finally reached the end of our journey together today with a few minutes left. But I just wanted to thank everyone for taking their time to attend today's meeting or event. This goes out to our speakers today and our very live audience and those watching online. It's great to see the support. And for those who are inspired by the work that we are doing, who represent our students and who want to help PI more, there are monthly donations going on right now. If you're so yeah, and if you are qualified and interested, you can also apply to our board of directors here. Sorry. And lastly, join the newsletter to get more information. All of these could be found and done on our website at passioниmpact.org and or our give posts. Yeah, and it is right down here. So yeah. and it's the moment that you guys have probably been waiting for, like I have. So basically, it's raffle time, and how this is gonna happen is, so let me check how many numbers, amount of people who are in the chat right now. So I'm gonna spin like the special wheel that I have here today. Oh wait, Stefan, how many people are here today? I mean, right now, like right now.
As
'Cause
long
I
as no
know
one leaves, there are 46 participants.
46 right now.
Correct. As long as no one leaves.
As no one leaves. Okay. So are you sure there's 46? Okay. 46. 46.
Why did you put it up?
I don't know why I did that. I'm sorry. This is nervous. This is
Quick
not
math,
nervous.
Kayla.
I don't know math. I'm sorry. It's a hard subject. Very hard. Okay, so I'm gonna spin it, and basically the number that it lands on, I'm gonna count down from the participants list, and the person who is that number then gets the prize, and I'm gonna do this twice. So yeah, it's pretty easy. You
Wait, how do we know what number we are?
know. I'm just gonna look on my list that is
Oh,
already
okay.
listed, so it's gonna be a surprise
Kayla has to do
anyways.
more math. She has to count.
I have to count. Oh my god, 46 people.
Yeah, I hope it's
Okay,
like number
anyways.
45 and 46.
Okay, you guys ready? Okay. Ooh. Number 13. Okay, let me go back and count because. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The winner is Brian. Whee! Okay. So this is kind of fun. Let me go again. Okay. So one more. Okay. I have to count 36. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna start counting because okay, so Brian is 12. I mean 13. So I'm gonna go down. 14, 15, 33, 34, 38, 32, 33, 34, 35. 36 is Peter. Yay! All right, you have it, folks. Stefan or Adrian, I hope you guys wrote it down.
Thank you.
It is Brian and Peter. Yay! Okay.
Yay. I will reach out to you and we will be in contact with that.
All right, yeah. And moving on. Anyways, one last thank you to everyone who attended today or is watching. I don't have anything left to say, so if anyone has anything left to say, I'm just gonna pass it to you. Possibly, Stefan probably has something to say because I know he does.
Thank you, Kayla. Of course, you can always give me the mic. I will take it for you. I just want to really just show some love to Kayla. As an informational interviewer, she did fantastic in the spring, and when we talked about her doing this, she jumped on this opportunity. So I'd love to just take the time right now and if you have a moment, give her some snaps and claps. Kayla, you did fantastic. She will be starting a side business for hosting these Zoom calls. So if you want to pay her for it, feel free to do so. Her email is something that we can talk about later. That being said, really appreciate everybody coming out and spending some time with us in community tonight. Hopefully next year we can do this in person and also a Zoom for those of you not located in Portland. But be safe this next few weeks, these next few months. We've got a tough road ahead of us, and I think I can speak for everybody here tonight, but thank you, students, for providing us all hope. We've got a lot to look forward to because of you. So with that, good night.
Good night.
Mic drop.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you, everyone, for coming.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Jeez. Oh my gosh.